So our video has to do with the uprising of America itself. And to start off, we're going to talk about the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was done on March 22, 1765, when the British passed it so that it could help pay for the British's troops that were stationed in this war called the 7 Years' War. They needed resources and didn't have the money to pay. So with this, the whole place was forced for colonists to buy this British stamp, which was like placed on everything, and they would have to pay tax. And with this, it brought money.
The purpose of the Revolutionary War was for the Americans to get their wanted freedom from the British. They wanted to finally take over the mother nation, who, as they were referred to as the sun never comes down in the British Empire.
The first battle was the Battle of Lexington and Concord. This was set on April 1775. America ended up winning. It was set in Middlesex County, Massachusetts, and the American general was by the name of John Parker. The British general, his name was Francis Smith, and of course this was the first battle of the Revolutionary War.
The second battle, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the date was June 1775. The British won, and it was located in Boston, Massachusetts. The American general was William Prescott, and the British general was William Howe. And as you hear in the name itself, the Battle of Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill, whenever you're on something higher than everything else, you have an advantage. And so the British, in this case, were able to be higher than the Americans, and they were able to sweep them. And by the third wave, the Americans were all destroyed, and they were retreating.
The next battle is the Battle of Quebec. It was set in December 1775. The British ended up winning. The location was in Quebec, Canada. The American general was Benedict Arnold, and the British general was James Livingston. The battle was fought to gain support for an anti-British rebellion in Quebec.
The Battle of Charleston, the date June 1776, the British won this again, and the location was Charleston, South Carolina. And so, I forgot to say this, but my other partner has this part, but Benedict Arnold was actually known as a traitor. And in this war, the Battle of Charleston, this was one of the last ones where he was with the American side. But anyways, enough talk. The American general was Benjamin Lincoln, and the British general was Sir Henry Clinton. And this was a success for the British because now they were in the South and they were building fortresses right away.
The next battle was the Battle of Trenton. The date was December 1776, and the location was Trenton, New Jersey. America ended up winning. The American general was George Washington. The other general was Joanne Rowell. The Haitian army was crushed because Washington's raid, and they were surprised of how easy it was to defeat the British Haitian forces.
So the Battle of Saratoga, the date October 1777, location Saratoga County, New York, and the victory were the Americans, gladly. The American general were Horatio Gates, and the British general was John Burgoyne. In fact, most significant military turning point, British army surrendering made France join. So right before this war happened, Benjamin Franklin went to the French and asked for them to be supporters. And as we all know, the British and the French have always been longtime enemies. And so the French didn't want to go right away. They wanted the Americans to prove themselves.
The next battle is the Battle of Rhode Island. The date was August 1878. Britain ended up winning this, and the location was in Aquidneck Island in Rhode Island. The American general was John Sullivan, and the British general was Robert Pigott. The American military momentum was stopped by a campaign that was created. The alliance with France didn't benefit them.
The next battle we have is the Battle of Kings Mountain. The date, October 1780. Victory, America. Location, South Carolina. American General William Campbell. British General Patrick Ferguson. And as you guys know, again, like I always say, when you read and you see mountain or hill, you know it's because one person has won the battle because they had an advantage over the enemy. In this case, America gladly did, just like British had the other time. With this one, instead, they were with the French. And the French led them and helped them out. And with this, they were able to get back all their southern land and push the British out.
The next battle was the Battle of Cowpens. The date was January 1781, and America won this one. The location was in Cowpens, South Carolina, and the American general was Daniel Morgan, the British general by the name of Banastre Tarleton. The campaign that was mentioned earlier brought the war to an end.
The next battle we have, in the final battle of the Revolutionary War, the date October 1781, and it was an American victory. The location was in Yorktown, Virginia. The American general George Washington, and this time he was aided with his French general Marquis Lafayette, and the British general Charles Cornwallis. And this ended the war. The French and the Americans surrounded the British in New York. There were French ships out on the harbor, and so there was no way for them to escape. So in the case, it was kind of a siege. But the citizens helped, and we were able to defeat them quickly, and they were kicked out right away, and they surrendered.
All of these battles led to the creation of the Constitution. The Constitution was established by the American national government, and this gave fundamental laws. It guaranteed all citizens for basic rights, and it was signed on September 17, 1787 in Philadelphia.
So as we know, the Americans wanted to be just as respected, and they wanted to be just as professional as the other nations. And so just as Julian was talking about the Constitution, there was a thing called the Declaration of Independence. With this, representatives from every state that were admitted in the America, they all came together and signed this document saying they would be there for each other, and they decided to make rules to make their nation safe and for all the citizens to love one another. And with this, they chose their leader. Their leader was George Washington, and the writer of the Declaration of Independence, as we all know, was Thomas Jefferson. And with this, the first alliance that ever happened with America was with France, because George Washington decided, oh, they helped us, well, we need to help them back. And so, this is how we are here today.